martial arts debut under the watchful eye of Anthony Laney and Stuart Nairn. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nick Pudney. His opponent tonight, weighing in at 64.5 kilos, from the Fairtex Centre, Brisbane, under John Bastable, Eduardo Diaz and Bruce McFlee. 2 wins, 1 loss. Please welcome Gerard LeGall. This fight is proudly sponsored by McCantra Lawyers. It is under modified rules, 4 3-minute rounds.
Here we go, fight number 2, Gerard LeGall from the Fairtex Centre, Brisbane, against Nick Pudney from one of Anthony Laney's students. First timer against a 2-timer, so both relatively novice fighters. Referee Mr. Owen Davey. Oh, here we go, left from Gerard.
The young bloke coming out strong straight away, look at that.
Nick firing big punches, Gerard covering up.
That's good covering from Gerard.
Covering well, he didn't seem too affected by all of that. Nick not afraid to unleash. Roundhouse kick to the midsection.
Has he had some kickboxing fights, that young fella?
I don't think so, but he
obviously trains well.
He's training very well. Well, he's throwing lots of strikes. Nothing's had an effect yet. Right hand from Gerard LeGall over the top there, temporarily dropped Nick, but Nick's firing doesn't seem to put back by that at all. Seems a little bit more cautious now.
Obviously his plan was to come out firing to start it off with.
If he had a plan, I think that was it.
Yeah, he's still going. He's still going,
throwing some shots. Gerard stalking him. Landing a couple of nice little effective shots. That's the difference. I think Gerard's got a solid Muay Thai tuition. He's not throwing shots for the sake, but Nick's still in there. He's got a puncher's chance. Keeping his hands fairly low, though.
You can see Nick now is just starting to tire a little bit. I think he's expended a lot of energy in that first 45 seconds.
Gerard's sort of moving forward a little bit in a stalking manner that was brought to our attention by John Levin. Gerard throwing shots, not very effective, but he's keeping busy. So
Gerard's very strong. He's moving forward. He picks his shots.
That's it. He's getting those knees up nice and high, but Nick still keeps very busy with those hands, and both fighters working hard at this point.
And it's good to see some fights would actually stay up for a while. It's nice.
Well, this is actually one of the modified rules fights, as you announced just before. The fighters can go to the ground and grapple and fight on the ground, but only for a limited time of 20 seconds. Nick, not taking a backward step, keeping very, very enthusiastic and busy with his striking. Hands down a little bit too low for my liking, but
I think he's tiring a fraction.
He'd have to be. Attempts a takedown there and
comes back in for a second shot at it. Ooh. Puts his face in the way of a knee.
Attempting a hip throw here, and which Gerard managed to successfully avoid.
Gerard's very strong. You can see it. He's got a nice strong physique to him.
Nice high knee, missed his mark, and he just missed with a big left hook there too. So Nick again not taking a backward step and keeping very, very aggressive in his backward defence there, I suppose. But that's at the end of round 1.
That was a great round. It's a really good round.
For 2 very, very new fighters, a lot of energy. Good to see. There's nothing worse than watching a boring fight. It's good to see when the fighters come out to fight.
There's the Preacher in his corner. Preacher, a fantastic kickboxer in his own right.
So having somebody like Bruce the Preacher McPhee in your corner is going to be good for your stand-up. And they're saying that having a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like an MMA fighter, ex-MMA fighter like Anthony Laney, I think was possibly Australia's first black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Correct me, apologies if I'm wrong or if I'm offending anybody. One of the first. Very, very knowledgeable man as well. Nick.
22, 2 fat ducks. No fat ducks there.
No.
Some final instructions from Bruce McPhee.
That's it. So obviously these fighters are going to come out and we'll see if they've got the same energy level they have at the start of the bell as to what they opened the first bell with.
I wouldn't be surprised if young Nick was told just to hold it back a little tad and maybe just choose your shots a little bit more wisely.
He shouldn't probably lose sight of the fact that his training is probably more ground-based. And even though there is only the limited ground time, you can still, if you have the ground skills, you can do quite a fair amount of damage in that time.
Well, plus the fact that he's fighting a guy that the punches hasn't deterred him in any way.
No, and when he has actually started to open up, he has looked dangerous, hasn't he? For all of Nick's strikes, he sort of hasn't really done much.
But his work rate's up there, so that's good.
That is good.
And here we go, round number 2.
Gerard comes out a bit more aggressively this time, but Nick straight into it
again.
That's it. Nice shots by both fighters.
You can see, though, the difference in the power of those shots from Gerard.
Both fighters throwing hard. No, you can. You're completely right. Sort of... Nick's not afraid to throw down, though. It's the ones that matter, that connected, that are going to be the trouble. Some nice low kicks by Gerard. Nick attempts to return the same.
This is a great fight for two guys that haven't got the experience of some of the fights that we see.
No, that's right. And here we go. Nick working very hard on a guillotine from the standing position on Gerard LeGall. He seems to have it in tight. Can he get the leverage from that position?
Oh, very nice.
As I say, that he takes it to the ground. If he can...
and he's gone. That's
there you go. I was about to say if he could close his guard, he could get that in tight, but it must have been tight enough is what it was, and Nick tapped. There you go.
That was a really good effort. Really good.
As I was saying before, you can do a fair bit on the ground if you can take them there. And,
you just got to make sure you got your hold in place, ready to go, like he did.
That's right.
And the way he got to the ground was brilliant. It was really nice. He made sure he had his guillotine on nice and hard, and he just took him to the ground just to finish it off. That was really well done.
And it just goes to show you that Nick looked like he was probably not as competent in the stand-up department, even though he was throwing probably 10 strikes to every one of Gerard's one. But as soon as it went to the ground, it was a completely different story.
Well, there you can see the difference in the work rate between the two guys. Nick obviously firing a lot of shots off, a lot of kicks, a lot of punches.
And might have been enough to fluster Gerard. And very, very simple technique, the old front guillotine. It's so well used, I suppose, that you don't even see it that much anymore, really. But it was very effective tonight against Gerard. Shame for Gerard, but it's his second loss to Maurice Rowan, but sure he'll be back.
Just waiting for our beautiful girls to pick up the trophies. Come on, you girls.